Hey, it's John with Schubert Technologies doing another quick video over the Legado project. So just a few mentions of the logistics. I always bring with me a hood so the phone doesn't overheat. Not so much an issue now, but come August timeframe, iPhones will get hot in the sun. Of course, the controller. I'll bring a chair, something comfy to sit on. And then every flight I'll start off by going through the local forecast. So this is a little bit windier than I normally like to fly in, but I keep putting this off. And I haven't posted a Legado video in like 2.5 months or so. So I've flown once, but to me not much changed, so it didn't make much sense to publish it. A lot has changed over the last month. So let's do a little pre-flight and then go fly Legado.
Take off. The home point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
So as you noticed, I paused during takeoff to let the cars go by. I try not to fly over cars or houses, even though it's permissible because they're protected. It's just generally better risk management to stay away from it. So you can see the water crews there are filling up the water tanks. So they used to have two tanks that were up on stilts full time. One that was right about the point where we started the video, and then another one farther up and to the right where we're about to fly to. But both of those are gone. All of the heavy machinery and equipment, the earth movers, bulldozers, whatnot, those are all gone and have been gone for a number of weeks. I noticed there was a couple of people that were going through this area on their quads and screwing up some of the terrain. So they've also thrown up a fence all the way around it, which wasn't there at the last time I published a film about 2 months ago. So we've started off on the north corner, central, and then flew towards the east. Now we're looking back towards the south again, and Antelope is to our left, which dog legs, right where that mountain was behind us. And up ahead of us, it meets McCall, which will head east and west in nature and go up to the 215. So if you're not familiar with the area, we're between McCall and Ethanek, just east of the 215 freeway. So this is going to be all residential in this section. I always publish on all of the Legado videos. If you haven't seen it before, I always put down in the description the plans. Now these plans were first adopted about 13 years ago. They've gone through some revisions. So Legado was formerly known as Fleming Ranch, and a couple years back that was renamed. These plans were adopted in, I believe it was 2020, so it's been a number of years. I do know that this section that we're just about to come up on, across from the school, they're currently proposing plans with the city of Menifee for the park. So if that's something that's of interest to you, I'll put a link to the Menifee City Council webpage, and every 2 weeks or so, I believe, they have a parks update. And so you'll be able to see the plans whenever they're revised. And the parks are usually tied to a percentage completed of the number of units going in. So just to give an example, they'll say, okay, this park has to be done within 40% occupancy, meaning after 40% of these units have sold, the park has to be done. And if I recall correctly, this is going to have 3 parks total. It's going to have a couple miles of walking trails. I believe they call those paseos. Now on the western section of this development, it's going to be light commercial. So the strip of land there, you can see the dirt is just more of a light brown than I guess a tan. That's probably a horrible description, but the strip that's closest to the road there, and that road is in Canto, which is sort of like an access road alongside the 215. So that stretch right next to Encanto is going to be light commercial. So again, go to the city plans. You can see what types of businesses, for example, they're not going to probably let a dispensary in there, but they would let a child care of a certain size. So you can go in and you can see what they allow and what they don't allow, what will get general approval, and then what has to have like special cases of approval. So we're now still going along the Encanto Road. This is the mortuary to the left there. That water you're seeing, it's been there for about 3 months. So you would think by now they would have pumped it out if they wanted to, because the stormwater management is right on the other side. It goes, the little tributary goes underneath the highway, right where that water is. So that's something I've been keeping an eye on. I'm just curious what they're doing. And then we'll see another patch of water, which I didn't realize was still there until a brief time ago. I was taking the dogs with my wife for a walk on this road, which Rouse Road is now on our left. Halfway up where it's going to be intersected, dead middle, there's another little channel of water that seems to be left. So this northwest corner has pretty much not been touched. They may have gone in and done some things about the weeds. From this aerial view, it looks like they're not as bad as they had gotten recently, because we had heavy rains about 2 months ago. But I know when I'm walking down Rouse Road or driving, they're still pretty heavy. So at this point, whenever I get to the middle of the project, I like to kind of stop and do a little 360 aerial so you can kind of get a nice vantage point of how everything's looking. So I have noticed that the light commercial, they've been doing a little bit of grading where they brought in some different dirt, did some compacting, hit it with a bulldozer, not bulldozer, but something, I forgot what they're called, but basically it's a smaller bulldozer with the GPS sets on them, so they do really precise grading. So we're now looking due north, rotating back towards the east. And here's those two little patches of water I was talking about that's in the middle. So this has been here for about a good 2 or 3 months as well. And we'll be just about where we started. And you can see that the bushwhackers have made some headway on cutting back all the weeds. So again, I put a link down in the description to all of the plans. So I highly encourage everyone to go take a look at it. The city of Menifee makes all of their records available online for you to go through and review. They have a city council meeting every 2 weeks or so, and then the Parks and Rec have their own separate meeting, so it won't be the same. Sometimes Legado comes up during city council, but usually it comes up during the Parks and Recreation department. So thanks for watching, and at this point, we're going to cut into a hand landing.